And let's bring in the chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff. Thank you so much, Congressman, for talking with us tonight. In a tweet today, you said that you've received the whistleblower complaint from the DHS Inspector General and your committee will investigate. But what's your immediate reaction to the claims in this complaint and what they mean for how intelligence is being handled by the administration?
Well, the allegations are very serious, and frankly, they're consistent with other things that we have seen. And the allegations are that the intelligence shop at the Department of Homeland Security was told that they needed to essentially politicize the intelligence. They needed to stop producing information to alert authorities that the Russians were intervening to help Donald Trump, that they needed to produce intelligence essentially that wouldn't embarrass Donald Trump and withhold others. So this is exactly what we feared. And the problem goes all the way back to being asked to provide misleading information about terrorists crossing the border as part of these migrant caravans. So this points out longstanding and current allegations of misconduct involving the politicization of intelligence, the provision of false information, a false equivalence between what Russia is doing in the election and what other nations are. Very disturbing, yet part of a pattern we have seen before.
Of course, the Democrats went down this road of impeachment earlier this year, but you didn't get the result that you were looking for then. We don't know the president's role in this complaint, but are you looking at this as another potential impeachable offense, or at this point, would you just let the voters decide in November?
Well, at this point, I think we're going to have to let the voters decide. But indeed, some of these allegations go right up to the National Security Council. The instructions allegedly emanating from Robert O'Brien, the National Security Advisor, basically to elevate reporting about China or Iran, but stop sending them information about what Russia is doing to interfere in the election. Allegations of that nature, very serious, very troubling, yet very consistent with the kind of abuse of power that we have seen in this administration.
Congressman, can we play the what-if game just for a moment and say, if the election were not so close, is this an impeachable offense in your mind, I guess in your preliminary estimation of it, and is this something that you would potentially look at in that manner?
Well, according to this whistleblower, these instructions came from the National Security Advisor. They came from the acting director of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf. I don't know that there are direct allegations in this complaint that go to the president, but clearly this is being done on the president's behalf. And we will, of course, be looking during our investigation to see whether they go beyond what this witness may have been privy to.
And taking a step back from the politics of this, if this whistleblower complaint ends up being true, what are the national security implications in your mind? Yesterday, a top DHS official said this will be the, quote, most secure election in modern history. Are you confident that that will still be the case?
I don't see how we can be confident of that if they're going to try to sweep under the carpet the predominant threat to those elections, which is Russia. So if these allegations are true, it means that they have been downplaying the threat from Russia, that they have not wanted to inform all of the state and local and law enforcement authorities of what they know. So that's, of course, very serious. It means that our elections are in more jeopardy than they should be. But it may go very well beyond election security. If they're going to be submitting false testimony to Congress about the threat of terrorists crossing the southern border, if they're going to be hyping some threats that don't exist, and they're going to be downplaying others that are all too real, it means the country is in danger.
We saw these bombshell comments from the president in interviews for Bob Woodward's new book. Again, want to get your reaction. And what, if anything, should Congress do in response to investigate whether the president endangered Americans by downplaying the threat of the virus to the American public?
Well, it's hard to imagine a more critical indictment of the president than what we see in Woodward's book, that he was essentially bragging to this reporter about how this virus was deadly, it was dangerous, and he was downplaying it. I mean, this has claimed now 187,000 lives. And the idea that the president back in February understood exactly how transmissible it was, how serious it was, how deadly it was, and withheld that information, indeed misinformed the American people. It shows, just what kind of really terrible negligence this president has been capable of. and how many people have paid for it with their lives.
And turning now to the COVID stimulus talks that are happening in Congress. The House passed a version months ago. Of course, it appears that this week the Senate will vote on a different, much slimmed down proposal. Democrats did not support that. Do you see any deal in sight that could bring relief to the American people?
I certainly hope so. And I think there is at least a good prospect that we'll get to yes. The American people are desperately in need right now. This pandemic has ravaged the economy, and people are trying to pay their rent, trying to stay in their homes, trying to get by, put food on the table. So we need to try to get to yes. I hope we will. The challenge has been that a majority of the Republicans don't think we should do anything more for the American people. And it's hard to negotiate with people who don't feel they need to do anything at all.
Congressman Adam Schiff, we thank you so much for your time.
You bet. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.